Hey guys, welcome back to Zethythonix channel. You are watching H.L.M.S again. Today is my favorite Gundam in Gundam Wing, Deathscythe. Unlike other people, I actually like Deathscythe and not Wing Gundam. Allow me to explain a simple rule about this episode. There was a comic called Gundam Wing Perfect Album Bomb Bomb, which was released in 1996. The comic featured some potential variants based on 4 Gundams, but I won't include the variants in this comic, and listen to me very carefully. The reason why I won't include the comic variants is because 1. I can't find the comic. 2. The variants were loosely based on the original Gundams. 3. The design style is too weird to the point that I treated them like a paralleled universe design. Also, the information was pathetic and there's not much information, so it's hard for me to break it down in details. Anyway, I hope you guys can understand me, and let's head off to the actual episode. As always, remember to subscribe and hit the bell next to it so you can keep watching these fun episodes. Turn on your CC sub and enjoy. After the Gundam scientists sealed the idea of Wing Zero, instead of creating a single MS with terrifying abilities, the scientists decided to use Wing Zero as the base and split the abilities into 5 different Gundams. In AC-194, Professor G finished his masterpiece in L2 Colony. The work of art is Gundam Deathscythe. Deathscythe was developed as a stealth mission use MS, combining with his high mobility and speed. Deathscythe can sneak up from enemies' back and attack, then exit the battlefield without ever being seen. Since stealth technologies was Professor G's specialization, so he used everything he knew to make Deathscythe become a perfect stealth MS. First, the whole body was coated with a special solution. This solution will reduce the radar reflection wave coming out from Deathscythe. Secondly, there are 2 nozzles protruding from the backpack. These are the hyper jammers. It's not sure about the effective range, but once the jammers were activated, the enemy's radar, camera, or any other electronics will be jammed or disabled. Thirdly, Gundanium alloy itself have the ability to absorb electromagnetic waves. Combined those 3 features, Deathscythe was able to maximize its stealth abilities, then strike the enemy rapidly and retreat without being noticed. To support the stealth attack tactics, Gundam Deathscythe was equipped with specialized close combat weapons to maximize its performance. First, a pair of Falcon guns are equipped on the head, another pair of machine cannons are around the clavicle. They are capable of damaging lightly armored MS. The primary weapon of Deathscythe is Beam Scythe. Its cutting power is excellent and able to cut through any armor. Also, the Beam Scythe can use underwater, and it greatly extended Gundam Deathscythe's advantages, since the Beam Scythe will produce strong heat and powerful magnetic field. It will start to disintegrate the target as the scythe approaching the enemy. Another fun fact, the beam emitters on TV versions Beam Scythe are very flexible. They can rotate and generate other blade shapes depend on the situations. When Gundam Deathscythe don't need the Beam Scythe, it will be folded and stored on the back skirt. In order to surprise the enemy during close to mid-range battles, a Buster Shield was equipped on the left forearm. Other than defending incoming attacks, another beam blade will be generated after the physical blades at the front split apart. There's a thruster at the back of the shield, which allows Buster Shield to launch towards the enemy, or using it to chase the enemy. Also, just like other Gundams, Deathscythe was equipped with self-destruct system too, but the one on Gundam Deathscythe was never worked. After Professor G finished Gundam Deathscythe, it was handed to Duo Maxwell. Originally, Gundam Deathscythe was going to be used as a mass massacre weapon. However, Duo heard about the details of Operation Meteor. He refused to be part of the crew plan. Duo planned to use a bomb to destroy Gundam Deathscythe, himself, and Professor G. Unfortunately, the bomb didn't work and Professor G allowed him to steal the Deathscythe. On 7th of April, AC-195, 5 Gundams showed up and started their own Operation Meteor. Gundam Deathscythe was the second Gundam appeared, which is why Oz called it as Gundam 02, due to the Deathscythe's terrifying stealth abilities, which was one of the biggest reasons why Oz soldiers believed that you'll be dead after you see the Gundams. After Deathscythe completed its first mission, Duo was starting to work with other Gundam pilots and fulfilling their missions. But Deathscythe is a meme in Gundam Wing 2. When Duo first pulled Wing Gundam out from the bottom of the ocean, Hero used the torpedoes and knocked both Gundam back into the ocean. Then, after Duo broke Hero out from the Alliance hospital, a boat came and picked them up. Hero got a message about a mission, so he stayed up all night and repaired his Wing Gundam. Duo was very impressed about his abilities until he realized Hero just stole parts from his Deathscythe to repair. Later in the story, Duo and Cutler attacked the Singapore spaceport base to steal HLV, trying to get back into space to stop Oz's schemes. It was a tough fight, but Wu-Fei showed up and helped them. Both Deathscythe and Shenlong were loaded onto the HLV shuttles. Only Gundam Sandrock was self-destructed at the end of the battle. Due to the fact that the Operation Meteor Gundams were developed for Earth use. Once Deathscythe went into space, it's basically useless. The HLV was drifting near Balaji base. Duo destroyed all 3 Leos, but later, Gundam Deathscythe was severely damaged by a group of Taurus. Both Duo and Gundam Deathscythe were captured by Oz. Very soon, Gundam Deathscythe was destroyed by Trower Barton in Undercover. This show was Oz pretending they are nice and blaming all the responsibilities on the Gundams. The remaining wreckages were retrieved by the Gundam scientists. They were secretly upgrading 2 Gundams in a hangar. In the Glory of Losers manga, Gundam Deathscythe's settings were slightly changed. Other than the obvious appearance changes, all the changes were focused on the weapons and equipment. First, the machine cannons were removed. Secondly, the beam scythe was fixed and non-extendable. The emitter cannot change directions or shapes, but the scythe size was even bigger than TV version. The Buster Shield don't have the physical blades anymore, but it will emit a larger blade. The most famous equipment on the EW Deathscythe is Ruzet unit. After Deathscythe landed on Earth, this is the wing unit for Deathscythe to fly in the atmosphere. Although the appearance is identical to the wings on Wing Gundam, but the size is actually smaller and the abilities were way different. While Wing Gundam can fly in atmosphere freely, Ruzet unit only provided the same flight ability for a short period, which means rather than long flight, Ruzet unit is more suitable to perform normal distance flight or burst attack in a short period. Duo used the Ruzet unit on his Deathscythe for 4 missions. The first appearance was during a base destroy mission, where Duo faced off against Hero, but they didn't fight much as their missions were changed. Next mission was in New Edwards base. Deathscythe didn't fight much, but it still covered the Gundam pilots to retreat. The third mission was in Siberia, where Deathscythe was part of the team who attacked the land route transport. The final mission was stealing the HLV. The plot is exactly like TV version, so let's just skip the explanation. After the wreckage was retrieved by the Gundam scientists, the upgrade plan was secretly ongoing in the lunar base. The result is Gundam Deathscythe Hell. Not only the base abilities were upgraded, the scientists redesigned Deathscythe Hell into space combat use. First, the stealth ability was tremendously upgraded. The Hyperjammer's effective range and power were doubled. The jammers will now work in space or on Earth. On the chest, the rib-looking armors are the new jammer, although it's not as powerful as the ones on the backpack, but this jammer is more like a particle diffuser. It enhanced the particles and allowed Deathscythe Hell to become invisible. To further increase the mobility and defense, at the front and back of the shoulders, there are 4 armor parts to form the active cloak. They were developed based on Mercurius planet Defender. The force field that the cloak generates is strong enough to defend from Virgo or Vias beam cannon all the way to cannons from battleships. Also, when the cloak is closed, Deathscythe Hell can turn into complete invisible. During high-speed battles, the cloak will be opened, which allow the thrusters to use its max thrust. The open cloak will also serve as amber control wings with the small thrusters in it, to increase the defense on the arms. There's another armor piece to cover the arms, combining all the defensive changes. Gundam Deathscythe Hell was able to defend powerful attacks or attacks from any direction. For the weapon changes, the Falcon gun on the head was changed to a bigger caliber, and the machine cannons were removed. Now, the primary weapon is Twin Beam Scythe. The flexibility and features were exactly the same like its predecessor. The handle of the scythe is extendable and flexible, which allowed Deathscythe Hell to attack with maximum efficiency. There is a thruster at the back of the scythe. It will increase the cutting speed and power. According to the calculations, Twin Beam Scythe is 4 times more powerful than its predecessor. The Buster Shield on the left forearm was upgraded too, other than appearance differences. The blade is bigger and there are 2 high output thrusters at the back of the shield, making it launch and accelerate faster. For the EW version, there are 2 EW versions, and let's break it down detailedly. First, the active cloak is now looked more like bat-like wings. Secondly, all the jammers were now integrated into the body instead of generating particles from a specific spot. Thirdly, the settings on the scythe and Buster Shield were changed. In the Endless Wars OVA, the main weapon is called Beam Scissors. The handle and emitter were fixed, but it will generate a bigger and more powerful blade. Also, there is no thruster at the back of the scissors. The Buster Shield was removed. Deathscythe Hell's defense is mainly coming from active cloak and its great mobility. In the manga, the main weapon is called Twin Beam Scissors. The settings were the same, except there are 2 blades. One is facing out and one is facing up. There is a pair of Buster Shields attached to the side skirts. They will directly launch from the side skirts and hit the target. As Romo Valor Foundation split apart with Trace Faction attacked the lunar base and created an opportunity for Duo and Uwe to escape with their new Gundams. By the time of its deployment, Gundam Deathscythe Hell was at 80% finished, but it still destroyed a group of Virgos. Later, Trent threatened Duo to test test the Wing Zero. After Trent got enough testing result, he kicked Dio out of the cockpit. Dio showed up with his Deathscythe helmet and tried to stop Trent. After a tough fight, Trent was defeated. Halfway of his retreat, Dio ran into an OZ squad and destroyed the ship and Leos. After that, Dio was once again shown up to save Cthulhu and the squad. He destroyed all the Taurus and joined the team. Along with the Gundam team, the Gundam pilots decided to stop both Trace and Ziggs. In the final battle, Dio and his Deathscythe helmet contributed a lot, and he is definitely one of the key factors on ending the war. First, Dio defeated both Viet and Mercurius with Chora and Hero's data in it. He also saved his girlfriend from getting killed. Then, Dio joined the others and destroyed a bunch of Virgo 2s. Next, Dio found the Gundam scientists and escorted them onto Peace Million, so they can stop Libra from dropping onto Earth. Lastly, Deathscythe helmet participated part of the Libra block destruction. After Hero got the Buster rifle, Dio left from the Libra block and Eve War was ended by the Gundam pilots. After the Eve War, Perfect Peace people started another war. Victor Gaines was waging war and attempted to control the mobile doll factory, Falconers, but the Gundam pilots stopped him and Victor was killed by Hero. The war was soon ended and Cthulhu suggested they should throw away their Gundams to achieve true peace. Unfortunately, Marimayer army declared war and the Gundam pilots decided to stop the war. Gundam Deathscythe helmet was broken from the seal and launched with Sandrock and Heavy Arms, heading towards Earth. After they landed on Earth, a long and difficult fight was started, because the Gundam pilots Ziggs and Noin don't want to kill a single pilot, which is why they were at disadvantage for the whole fight. Eventually, all the pilots ran out of everything and Dio suggested they should use self-destruct system to end the battle. But this idea was quickly rejected as the pilots wanted to keep the others alive. Very soon, Wing Zero showed up and blasted 3 shots towards the shelter. Marimayer army's headquarters was destroyed and the war was ended. In a peaceful day, Deathscythe helmet, Sandrock Kai and Heavy Arms Kai were unarmed. Dio pressed the button and the 3 Gundams were exploded and vanished. Just like other Gundams, Deathscythe helmet was studied by Romo Fellow Foundation and they created their own variant. The result of the mass production plan is Gundam Deathscythe Guilty. It's based on the data that Romo Fellow Foundation was holding, just like the base design. Deathscythe Guilty was designed as stealth close combat use MS. There weren't that many changes. The weapons on the Deathscythe Guilty are Falcon guns on the head, and the same beam scythe from Gundam Deathscythe. The bat-like active cloak is now relocated on the back of the hip armor. The reason of this change was unknown. Instead of Hyper Jammer, Deathscythe Guilty was equipped with Prism Particle Coating. This coating could bend the lights around the Gundam. It will make the machine to be completely invisible and disrupt enemy sensors. Romo Fellow Foundation secretly manufactured a large group of Deathscythe Guilty at Colony X1X722. One of them was piloted by Semis, an Oz soldier who is very loyal to Romo Fellow Foundation. Deathscythe Guilty was first deployed to stop Teal from stealing Wing Gundam Seraphim, but very soon, Deathscythe Guilty was heavily damaged by Tenlong Gundam, which was piloted by Teal's friend, Kron Palamai. After Deathscythe Guilty was severely damaged, Romo Fellow Foundation decided to further upgrade its mobility and long-range attack abilities. The result is Gundam Deathscythe Guilty Custom. The only new part on the Gundam is the shoulder claws, which is the same one on Hydra Gundam. Each shoulder claw was equipped with a beam cannon. The claws are attached on the foldable arms. They can also be launched and controlled through a wire, achieving all-range attacks. After Deathscythe Guilty was upgraded into the custom version, Semi was launched once again to chase the 3 stolen Gundams. However, both Deathscythe Guilty Custom and Standalone Custom were destroyed by Gundam Doringa Arms, but Doringa Arms was later exploded due to sustained damage. Around 20 years after the Marimayer Rebel, Mars Century started and war was once again appeared. Dio is now called Father Maxwell. He was caught with a rare endemic on Mars, causing his face aged insanely fast, so now he looked very old. Due to his addiction towards alcohol, Father Maxwell is no longer a pilot but more like a commander. His son, or adoptive son, Dio Maxwell II, is now piloting Warlock, which is a prototype of Gundam Deathscythe. Other than its Gundam face, we knew absolutely nothing about the rest of the body. The cloak that covered the body is a special equipment. It will make Warlock to become invisible whenever the pilot wants to. The only weapon on Warlock was assumed to be Beam Scythe. It seems like Warlock can use 2 of them to maximize its performance. When Professor G made this prototype, he believed that Warlock was not just a beast, but should be a human-like MS2, which was why other than MS mode, Warlock can quickly transform into Fenrir mode. Fenrir mode is when Warlock walking with his 4 limbs, making it look like Fenrir from Norse mythology. During Fenrir mode, its mobility and attack speed will be dramatically increased. The only no weapon in this mode is White Fan, a very powerful close combat weapon with high crushing and cutting power. So far, all I know about its deployment record is only 2 missions. The first mission was deployed along with Snow White. Duo 2 and Hero cooperated perfectly. They destroyed a large group of Virgo 4 together. Another mission was fighting against Blackwing Zero. Warlock entered into Fenrir mode and fought against Blackwing Zero, but the battle outcome was unknown because I can't find any translation on Frozen Teardrop. I am once again asking for a translation for the novel, please. Thanks for watching this episode. What do you think about the Deathscythe family? Tell me more in the comments. Don't forget to leave your requests in the comment section too. For the next episode is exactly what you guys voted around 4 months ago. Project UC. Zazabi is coming first. If you don't want to miss the rest of the videos, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell next to it so you can get the updates ASAP. Follow my IG at Zethythonix. Donation link is in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.